It's on.
Check.
Yeah. Go, Adam, go.
On behalf of my father and Julia, we'd like to thank all of you for coming today and for being a special part of our lives. Most of you have shared a special connection with Mom that I'm sure you will miss. Everyone here has been very, very supportive to us, and we're very grateful for that. My hope is that when you're missing my mom, you'll remember those special moments that you shared with her, and also remember to cherish the moments that you have with your friends and family. I want to say thank you for all the nice greeting cards that you sent and flowers. We tried to display them today so everyone can see how nice they are. We also created a little photo album here, which you might have seen with some good pictures of Mom. And I put some words down, things I thought about her and some special thoughts. And then I also wanted to say thanks to Nancy and Jeff. Nancy was the one who put together the pictures on the crystal board there. And I'd also like to say thanks to Karen and John from Circle of Life here that have helped us through this process. As most of you know, Mom's passing away was very unexpected, and the Circle of Life has made this process as comfortable for us as possible. Yeah. I'm going to pass the mic to Julia.
Hi everyone, thanks again for coming out. Really and truly, I am the person in the room who knew Helen for the least amount of time. She was part of my life for 13 years. There was 13 super fun years, lots of laughs. She accepted me wholeheartedly, which was wonderful. I think she also liked the fact that I would team up with her against Adam and give him little pokes and quips when he needed it. So I know with my 13 years of knowing her, I got to experience so many fun things, and that is what I'm holding close to my heart. And every time I think of her, I'm going to smile. Try not to shed any more tears. We've done that. And let's just embrace all of those great memories. Be happy that we got to have her as part of our life. And I know she cherished every moment that she had with all of you as well.
Hello. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Alice, Richie's sister. Helen was the first girl that Helen was the first girl Richie ever brought home that her mother approved. And there were a few of them.
Oh.
She was very protective of her boys, and she knew the right type of girl that would be good for him. Well, Richie hit the jackpot, and so did we.
You got it.
Helen fit right into our big Bedell family and became one of us. She became so much so that I can't remember a time when she wasn't part of it. She became a sister and a dear friend. Her passing leaves a huge hole in our family that is impossible to fill. She will be sadly missed, but well remembered by all of us. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to come up and share a story or anything about Helen? You're more than welcome to do so now.
if she could write it for me because she writes really well, but it's not, it wouldn't write. So I met Helen when I was 19 or 20 when I started at the Board of Education. And Betty was also there, and my friend Carrie, but she's out. And I worked in the steno pool, and I was sent to the inspection office to work for Helen. And I'm not, Joan's not going to like this, but I wasn't as smart as Helen, so it took me a long time to learn her job because she was very efficient, intelligent, and everything. But then I had to quit supplying for her because we wanted qualification. So for many, many years, Helen and Richie and Billy and I and many others went to Myrtle Beach with Adam and our kids. Adam was very wild then, now he's very calm. But we had so many wonderful years together. And whenever I would get all the girls together, Beth and Sharon and Joan and Ellen and all of us would go out to lunch, Helen was so appreciative of everything. She'd just go home, and when I got on the email the next morning, she said, "Thank you for getting us together. I don't know what I'd do without you." And there's so many things that I could say about Helen, but she was generous, she was honest, she was never jealous of anyone. She looked at everybody else's grandkids and never was she jealous. And she'd always ask about our grandkids, our kids. And even though I used to talk to her 2 or 3 times a week and she had aches and pains, but she said there's so many others that are a lot worse than she is. So she was always up. She was just, and like Alice said, nobody will ever replace him. And I can't believe it. So I always tried to have her at our house when my daughter was away because we had an in-law suite and then she and Helen can't go up the stairs. So whenever Missy was away, then I'd have them over. And they were over on the Saturday and we had so much fun. And Joni would say, "Oh, you look so beautiful. You don't even have wrinkles like the rest of us." And she said, "Well, you haven't seen me naked." And that was Helen. But when you give her a compliment, she always had something funny to come back. And I said to her, "Helen, let me take a picture of you and Richie." And she said, "Why? You want a picture of this old bag?" And I said, "Yeah, I do. You never know what's around the corner." And I don't think I had a picture of Helen and I. And I said, "Will you take a picture of Helen and I?" And I'm sure glad we did because I couldn't believe it a few days later when I heard. We talked about everything like that. And Ellen and I are just, I call her my brother all the time. And even when I can believe that she's actually gone. Like when I was in Scotland, I thought, "Oh, Helen would like this. She likes animals." Or, I know that Alice say the other things. But you just think of her. You wake up and it still doesn't seem real. When you talk about it, your heart is just weak. And she always talked about Scott and all his family, and she was so excited when you came to visit her uncle. Everybody here, it's just unbelievable. So I'm going to try doing what Abby said and Julia said. I'm going to try to smile a little bit to him. And Richie. So we're going to continue, Richie. My sisters and Elva and all of us are going to continue emailing you, talking to you, taking you out for breakfast, and inviting you to our house because you are family now to us. And we love you very much.
I just wanted to say that I miss Helen so much, even after they moved to Binbrook. I lived across the street from her, and I look out the window every day and think of her. And she was such a fun person to be around. She could make my husband laugh, and that's pretty hard to do. But she was the best person. We sold daffodils for the Cancer Society. She was always there, willing to do things. And I think Fred and Carol's left, but she was the instigator in the neighborhood for having pool parties before the kids got out of school. And the next morning, people would find a few wine bottles lined up on their front porch. That was Helen. I'm going to miss her, as Joanne said. She's a part of our lives. And Richie, I know Birdie's going to keep you busy, and Helen will be looking down on you, thinking, Richie, you better feed Birdie and look after him. So I just want to say we're all lost without her, and we're all better for knowing her. Very blessed. Thank you.
So afterwards.
I'm sure as you were coming here today, you probably saw signs for the increased lotto max of 70 million. And many wonder what it would be like to win the lottery, but that's exactly how we felt when Helen entered our lives in 1996. It was an unusual start to the relationship. I was on maternity leave with our second son, Scott, and I was at my hairdresser's. And she asked, what are you going to do for daycare when you go back to work? And I shared it was a work in progress. She advised me that she had a client who had taken early retirement from Ontario Hydro and was looking to offer daycare in our home. I gratefully took the phone number she offered and I made the call. Upon reflection, it must have sounded strange. Hi, my name is Deborah Beattie, and I was wondering if you would consider looking after my 6-year-old son Michael and my 6-month-old Scott. You don't know me. Fortunately, Helen didn't hang up. So in 1996, she would arrive Monday through Friday, 7:15 a.m., and quickly became part of our family. My standard greeting to her as I heard the door open was, hi there. So we shouldn't have been surprised when Scott assumed that was Helen's name and lovingly referred to her as Hiya. Needless to say, the mornings when she arrived were action-packed. Rick off to his job at Hamilton Hydro, me getting ready to commute to Toronto, Michael getting ready for grade 1, finding his backpack and shoes, and Scott cradled in her arms. After we left, and over the next few years, Scott and Helen would spend the rest of the day playing dinky toys, building Legos, or playing with their mini sticks, or heading out to excursions with Richie to a goat farm or hutches on the beach trip. In the early days, Scott would get a chance to visit Helen's home and play with Peaches, their wonderful little dog. It must have been on one of those trips in the car that Scott, who was a quiet little one, but a keen listener, was able to transfer the knowledge he gained from Helen to me when he and I were driving together on the weekend. Scott was likely a little over 2 at the time and still in the car seat when the driver in front of me made some moves that really annoyed me. What an idiot. He should try using his blinker, I said. Scott, who was sucking his thumb at the time, promptly pulled his thumb out of his mouth. He goes, Helen calls those guys peckerheads. Of course, I had to laugh, and I have used that term since. Needless to say that Helen not only provided lots of love and experiences, but she allowed Rick and I worry-free years, knowing that the boys were in such good hands. Both Michael and Scott loved knowing that Helen would be there at the end of the school day to chat with or introduce their friends to during play dates. Helen would come to know all their buddies and eventually their girlfriends. Well, as we all know, time passes, days turn into months, and months turn into years. But it never seemed that our home would be complete without Helen, and she was nothing short of a second mom to our boys. Even once Scott started high school, Michael was off to university, Helen was still arriving at her home, and then even helped us more by taking my mom to appointments. After school, Scott would return home to the woman who taught him how to tie shoes and read. And she would make him a grilled cheese, and they would all have a laugh together. We used to ask Scott how he explained still having a babysitter at age 16. But he would just smile and refer to Helen as his friend. Quite an appropriate description, as we all continued that friendship, even after Scott left for university. Helen and I would meet at McDonald's, me with my coffee, her with her apple juice, and I would get caught up with the latest with Richie, Adam, Julia, and Helen's many friends and neighbors, many of who are here today. Of course, we always made a point to visit at Christmas. We We recently were fortunate enough to visit Helen and Richie at their new Ridbrook place. Michael and Sarah, his new wife, were home for Christmas they lived in Alberta, and Scott and Sam made a similar visit this year and just recently. And every month Scott would reach out with a call or email. This year, Michael and his wife Sarah, their firstborn, who live in Alberta, were looking so forward to visiting Helen and Richie. Scott was looking forward to having them at his wedding next year. Unfortunately, those visits won't happen, and we are beyond sad of Helen's passing. And yet, so grateful for all the time we shared together. We are also grateful to Richie and Adam and Julia for sharing her with us over the years. Our deepest condolences to you. Rest in peace, Helen, who will be so missed.
This one's going to be a lot shorter. I'm trying to get through this. Helen was an incredible woman, wife, and mother. As my mom discovered, she raised me from the time I was 6 months old and was very much like a second mother to me. She taught me how to tie my shoes and read and introduced me to so many of the things I love to this day. She was always willing and ready to crack a joke in light and dark situations, was a true lover of laughter. She was incredibly kind and never hesitated to do you a favor or to stop to help a turtle. Stop to help a turtle across the road. She always made sure to remind me to not take life too seriously and to not dwell on life's tough moments. She gave this world so much. While I'm sure everyone in this room is heartbroken to have lost Helen, I know everyone feels blessed to have had her in their lives for the time that they did. It was a pleasure and a privilege to share the memories I did with her, and she will be dearly missed, but definitely never forgotten. Rest in peace.
Anybody else wish to speak? Okay.
When we first got here today, I saw Adam wearing a hat, so I figured I could wear one. I went to school with Helen at EDHS. I was a year ahead of her, but we suffered the same Nazi-type teachers at that time. She was in complete agreement with my assessment of them. There was one, I don't know, maybe I better not, somebody might be related to it. So, I keep this short. Helen had a sharp wit. We were somewhere with my brother-in-law Tom. Richie was Dick, and I was a hairy little dude. Not now, but then. And she'd come up with, geez, Tom, Dick, and Harry. And I loved Helen. She was always, I used to talk to her after Joanne finished up with the conversations. We'd compare notes and we agreed on a lot of things. So I'll always miss her. Always. And I'm sure everybody in here will be the same. We had the pleasure of traveling the road with her at times, and it was great. All the best to you, Rich.
So as a kid, and Richard bringing Helen the first time and seeing her, it was like amazing of this
woman who looks like a TV star or model. Absolutely gorgeous. As an adult and visiting in their home, Helen was an amazing hostess. She usually did do all the Christmas gatherings. It was always comfortable, fun, and well organized. You had a very happy home, Richard. It was wonderful to visit. And yes, we will miss her.
Thank you everyone for all your kind words. I can see that they've touched both Adam and Rich right here. It's wonderful to know that she had so many beautiful friends who cherished her and everything that she was. And she could be saucy at times. So you gotta embrace the good and the bad. And she was a wonderful part of my life and obviously a very wonderful part of your lives as well. So again, with Adam and Rich's, our deep felt thanks for all of your support as we went through this experience, and keep smiling because that's what Helen wants you to do. She was a joy to have, and let's carry that joy on every day. Thanks again. I did hit stop.
Perfect.